Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. Good evening. This is Ishan Isaac with Ishan on Air, and I would like to welcome all of you. And if you've not subscribed my YouTube channel, please do. And also welcome to everyone who is listening to me on the Legacy Media. We have a lot of news to cover. The first news that I would like to share, and it's reported by CBS News as well. It's the Supreme Court who is going to take on this case with this firing of Rebecca Slaughter. She was the commissioner of FTC, Federal Trade Commission, and there is a precedent, Humphreys versus the executor. That was the case back in 1935, where the Supreme Court of the United States of America ruled that the president cannot actually fire FTC commissioner. Now, the President Trump has actually fired the FTC commissioner in terms of this precedent that is not there. However, the case was made that unchecked bureaucracy or the powers that FTC commissioner has with so many agencies and they execute so many laws. But there is also the merit-based system and the merit governance board and a lot of things that basically are happening with regards to the rule of law and the Constitution. So let's see what the United States Supreme Court is going to decide. And there was another case where Lisa Cook, she is or was, she still is the Federal Reserve Board governor. This is where the United States Supreme Court said that to the president, no, you cannot fire the U.S. Federal Reserve Board of Governor. So she is still in her role. So we are going to see what would happen with this case. It's a 90 years precedent where the Supreme Court has ruled where the president of the United States of America cannot actually fire the FTC commissioner. So we will see what would happen in the coming days and weeks. It's developing news, and it's just reported the United States Supreme Court is going to look at that case. U.S. halts all immigration cases, including citizenship ceremonies for nationals of 19 countries. Internal guidance says. This is reported by CBS News. In a statement Tuesday, the Department of Homeland Security said it would announce the new additions to the list of countries affected by the travel ban, quote, soon, unquote. So we will see what would happen there, because the plans being considered would significantly broaden the scope of proclamation issued by Mr. Trump over the summer that partially or fully barred legal immigration and travel from 19 countries, most of them in Asia and Africa. When we say legal immigration, that also means that people who are in the line, in the queue, waiting for their immigration, meaning green card. And obviously, there could be different categories of immigration-based system. You know, maybe parents have sponsored their children or vice versa. And it could be brother and sisters sponsoring their brother and sisters. So those categories take sometimes decades for those people to get their chance at the front of the line when they get to the front of the line, because there's so many people standing in front of the line. That's legal immigration. So the United States Trump administration has actually have barred legal immigration and travel from 19 countries, most of them in Asia and Africa. So this is where these countries near total restriction on the entry of people from Afghanistan, Myanmar, Chad, the Republic of the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. Now, keep in mind, Haiti and Iran, those are the two countries, they have qualified for the FIFA World Cup. So they have given permission to the soccer team players or football players, as the world calls soccer football, and their officials as well. So those are the exceptions, but only for the FIFA World Cup, which will be in 2026. Trump administration will expand travel ban to more than 30 countries, Noam says. So Department of Homeland Security chair, Secretary of Homeland Security, she has actually said this. So let's see what happens. Now, there is this bill where people should be aware of. Senator Moreno introduces bill that eliminate dual citizenship. So this is a Republican Ohio senator, Senator Bernie Moreno, has introduced a bill to establish that citizens of the United States, quote, must have sole and exclusive allegiance to the U.S., unquote. And this is where dual citizenship has never been challenged like this, and especially if it becomes the rule of law. So the case here is that USCIS, an individual who doesn't comply will be deemed to have a voluntarily relinquished US citizenship for purposes of Section 349A of the Immigration and Nationality Act, the INA as they call it. Now, with regards to those with dual citizenship would need written renunciation of foreign citizenship to the Secretary of State or a written renunciation of US citizenship to the Secretary of Homeland Security no later than a year after enactment. So that's what this bill is going to be. We don't know if this bill is going to pass. I personally believe it will be difficult, and the reason being because there are a lot of Israeli citizens as well in this country. And would the state of Israel allow this? I personally believe that would be very difficult because the state of Israel has a lot of Israeli citizens, and that would be interesting because everyone else probably would comply, other than perhaps this particular state, because people go back and forth, and the closeness of the United States of America and the state of Israel is something that we all are aware of. So let's see what would happen. And then even countries other than Israel, there are many people from other countries, maybe Russia, or who knows, other adversaries of the United States. Perhaps they may look at those countries instead of put a blanket citizenship issue with regards to those who basically have dual citizenship. Now, here's another point. If you are a US citizen and then you get another country's citizenship, that is something that they should be looking at. What if you were a citizen of another country and then came to the United States? Or are they only going to consider people who are just born here? Then, people who are aboriginals and red Indians, as they call them, they are still fighting for their rights. Well, they don't pay federal taxes, so that's another thing and topic to discuss some other day. But we have some history in this country, so we need to keep that in mind. So let's see how the rules are going to change with regards to dual citizenship. Being an American citizen is an honor and a privilege. And if you want to be an American, it's all or nothing. It's time to end dual citizenship for good, unquote, Moreno said. So if passed, the bill would take effect 180 days after enactment. Multiple Supreme Court cases have been instrumental in establishing dual citizenship as a constitutional right, including Talbot versus Jensen, 1795, which ruled that the U.S. citizens who acquire foreign citizenship do not have to waive their U.S. citizenship, and Afrovim versus Rusk in 1967, not that long ago, which ruled that a U.S. citizen cannot lose their citizenship unless they willingly surrender it. So this is the case, as I was telling earlier and mentioning earlier, that even people who are U.S. citizens and they go and become a citizen, let's say in UK, so that is something interesting. But if they marry someone or they go to Canada or what have you, and initially they were U.S. citizen and then they acquire, even in that case, they have to then send in writing the renunciation. That's what the Immigration and Nationalization Act actually says. So while the US government doesn't keep statistics on dual citizens, it's estimated that over 40 million Americans, many of whom are Mexican Americans, are eligible for dual citizenship according to International Living. So we'll see. The Exclusive Citizenship Act of 2025 would make it so a person may not be a citizen or national of the US while simultaneously possessing any foreign citizenship. So this is going to be interesting because what if you were a citizen earlier? Maybe after getting your citizenship, then you get it. So we will see how this bill is going to be then negotiated and discussed. But some countries with their strong lobby, like I mentioned, Israel, and there are a lot of Israeli citizens, even I know, who are actually dual citizens. So what would happen to them? Or are they going to give exception to one state? And then we're looking at lawsuits. So let's see what happens. U.S. halts immigration application for nationals of 19 countries, also reported by NBC News. Now, with regards to this whole situation of 2026 midterm elections, this is the history of the United States of America, that regardless of how strong the U.S. president is in terms of the electoral mandate or the electoral votes he or she, well, only he, we have never had she, and who knows, we may never have she, but let's see, that the midterm are always a litmus test on the policies of the administration, and every president has to face it. So let's see the 2026 election. A lot of people are saying it's going to be a huge swing. We're already seeing that. A lot of congressmen or congresswomen are resigning, like Marjorie Greene Taylor resigned. Congressman Troy Nehls is saying that he's not going to seek re-election. So, and many others. So Bloomberg has reported GOP's narrow win in Tennessee vote highlights midterm risk. So now it's coming. And Bloomberg, obviously, they're all about business and economics as well. So Republicans averted an upset in a Tennessee-based U.S. House race Tuesday, a relief to President Donald Trump and his congressional allies. But is it a relief? Maybe for now. So let's see what would happen, because people are focusing on the candidates, and every candidate should be vetted, Democrat, Republican, or independent, but many are running as Democrats and Republicans. So we'll see. The Hill has reported House Democrat announces articles of impeachment against Hegseth. So Secretary of Defense is under a lot of pressure right now because of this boat issue and the drugs issue, and then even there is this investigation going on, and Hegseth doubles down on boat strikes after controversial report. So the Hill has reported, and now House Democrats, they have announced articles of impeachment against Pete Hegseth. President Trump is definitely going to weigh in on this, and have already said a lot of things, but we will see what would happen. It's politics. On the international news, there's a big, I would say, uproar in Pakistan and outside of Pakistan, where Pakistan appoints Asim Munir as Chief of Defense Forces with, quote, no retirement age, unquote. Z News has reported this, the English channel. Pakistan appoints Asim Munir as Chief of Defense Forces, exempt from retirement age. Now, with this news, one thing that we also have to focus on is the former Prime Minister Imran Khan, who continues to be in jail, and the spokesperson for Pakistani military, ISPR Director General, or DG as they call it, they have labeled him as the enemy of the state, and he is in prison. And now people are very concerned about his life, and we will see what would happen in the next 24 to 48 hours and in the next upcoming weeks and months. Because this person, former Prime Minister Imran Khan, is a very popular figure in terms of his celebrity status before running and entering into politics, as he was the captain of the Pakistani cricket team. He was also the world champion in 1992 World Cup that Pakistan has won in cricket. As you know, this region, a lot of people follow cricket. And then he also was involved in a lot of philanthropic activities, like cancer hospitals and Shaukat Khanum Memorial Hospitals in major cities in Pakistan have been built by Imran Khan and those who trust him, and he continues to remain very popular. The party that Imran Khan established in 1996, if I'm not mistaken, is under a lot of pressure. A crackdown may intensify, and now the PTI, which is the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, which is in Urdu or Hindi, in English it's called the Movement of Justice, or the Party of Justice, or Seeking Justice, is basically in governance in one of the provinces in Pakistan called KPK. And we are going to see what kind of political pressure, because they have had a very strong showing. And this is now Pakistan at crossroads in terms of hopefully history may not repeat itself, but the Pathans, who is the major ethnicity in that province or ethnic group, versus the Punjabis, which is another big ethnic group in Pakistan. So this is a showdown between Pathans and Punjabis. Back in 1971, on 16th December 1971, they call the fall of Dhaka in terms of history. And that's where the Bengalis, as we know them as those who are from the state of Bangladesh, used to be East Pakistan. And they gained their independence in 1971. And that was the showdown between the Bengalis and the Punjabis. And Punjabis got rid of Bengalis, or you could say the Bengalis got rid of Pakistan, or Punjabis in this case. So this is a very interesting scenario, and I'm all about all ethnicities, all cultures and faiths. However, this region has been marred with a lot of caste system and ethnicities and languages. And unfortunately, history may be repeating itself, because the Pathans are certainly not backing down. They are all for Imran Khan, based on all the reports, and based on what is happening at the ground reality. The language that the state has used, or in this particular case, the spokesperson for the Pakistan's armed forces, you can call them as, for example, as we have the spokesperson of Pentagon, using language against the opponents who basically are being labeled as traitors, or those who are unpatriotic, or those who basically are supporting terrorism. So this is not just symbolic. This is a very big thing. People are still trying to assess this or internalize this, but we certainly hope calmer minds prevail. We certainly hope that the state of Pakistan, the government, especially all the institutions, they sit down, and they sit down with opposition, regardless of even if they believe in some other rational or irrational idea. Even, for example, I can give you the example of Ireland when they wanted to seek independence. Even the UK government sat down with the Irish people, and the IRA, as we recall them, the Irish Republican Army. And now this situation in terms of head-on collision between the institution, which is a very strong army, the Pakistan Army, against people who do not have weapons. We believe that this is a very serious situation for Pakistan and for Pakistanis, not only in Pakistan, but also outside of Pakistan. And I certainly hope and pray that some sanity prevails, and they sit down with the, I would say, opposition, especially the former Prime Minister Imran Khan, also all his opposition, and have a camera session and have a debate, and let democracy takes its due course. If democracy is not given a chance, then we know what happens in the absence of democracy. And this is where people all over the Europe, especially in the West, and those who belong to these regions like Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, and others, they're very concerned, because at least in India, there's democracy. Even in Bangladesh, there's democracy, and people have risen up, especially in Sri Lanka. We saw how they rose against the fascist regimes of the corruption. But in the case of Pakistan, people have never risen because the history of this region has been the brutal force that is being used, and people sometimes, as ordinary citizens, they have no choice but to just shut up and just look the other way, or just continue to do what they need to do to survive. So this is a very serious situation in terms of humanity. This is about humanity, and people who are concerned about humanity, and people who are concerned about doing the right thing should certainly contact their local officials here in the United States of America, the congressmen or the congress women, and even the US senators. And regardless, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And that is something that we should always live by. And our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. That's MLK, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who basically has said that. So that's basically the situation. I wanted to keep you up to date, and I am certainly concerned about the welfare of everyone, the state of Pakistan, the people who represent the government, the armed forces, as well as the opposition or civilians who may have a completely different point of view, because it's how humans operate, and nature always take precedence in terms of understanding a different diversity of thoughts, different mindsets, different views, opposing views, even those views are completely against our own worldviews or our own views. That's what politics is all about. And in politics, even if people are facing a situation where no one is trying to compromise, then you may have to involve others, perhaps parties from outside of that region or outside of that particular country, because then you need to have a third person or a third international mediation or mediator who should bring those two parties together. So at least they put sense into those people. That's how the world has always operated. We see it in situations like in the Middle East, where even the United States of America had to sit down or through Qatar, and they had to talk with Hamas, who the state of the Department of State labeled them as terrorists. The government of Pakistan is saying that, oh, we're not going to talk even with the Taliban's, although the government is in Afghanistan, and they are basically openly saying that Imran Khan and his party, and especially the KPK province, are supporting terrorism. This is huge, unheard of, unprecedented, and I really hope that the temperature won't rise. And this news has certainly taken a lot of people at surprise, although I'm not surprised at all, because when I'm following the news, I'm still restraining myself and trying to be balancing the situation, because it's a balancing act. So the Council on Foreign Relations, the Atlantic Council, Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, United Nations Human Rights Watch, and all those organizations who basically concern about the welfare of people. And they were concerned even in the case of Gaza, and that's why they tried their best, although a lot of human suffering has occurred. But that international pressure actually put Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, on the defensive, and at least they tried to figure out some type of relief for Gazans. So that's exactly what needs to happen in this situation in Pakistan. Otherwise, this is a country where 240, 250 million people live. And this is also a country that has nuclear weapons. They just fought with India, and India fights with Pakistan. So the world cannot afford a situation where one of the provinces is unstable. And we also know that another province, which is Balochistan, is also at risk in terms of a lot of uprising that is happening. This is all over the Western outlets in terms of the news outlets. You Google it, Reuters to Associated Press to AFP to French news outlets to Al Jazeera to the Pakistani, but even those could be considered as they are under pressure, because many journalists are under pressure. And then also our news outlets from ABC and from NBC, CBS, or even the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times. And if you Google it, you will start learning more. So this is the time for learning. I'm also learning, but I've been learning about this for decades now. And unfortunately, this is where Pakistan is at crossroads, and history hopefully should not repeat itself. So with that, I am again calling for all parties in this chaos, in this situation, to calm down, take a step back, and try to figure out a settlement, a negotiated settlement with the wisdom, with some kind of understanding that, yes, we may agree on some of the things, but we may completely disagree on many of the things, but we also have to agree to disagree. And let's find out a working mechanism, and let's have some types of confidence building measures. So the Pakistani nation, regardless of what ethnicity, they could be Pathans, they could be Punjabis, they could be other ethnicities, but right now, this is a situation, a head-on situation, head-on collision between the Pathans and the Punjabis in the case of Pakistan, and especially the institutions and the government of Pakistan. I hope our ambassadors in this country, especially the Pakistani ambassador, as well as the Consul General, they are also listening and understanding what the Pakistanis are actually worried about. Those of you who are watching and listening, you have a role to play as well. My role is also very simple. Although I don't want to overly simplify this, my role is to raise awareness, take the issue head on, and just communicate with you. I'm not giving any solutions because I'm not a power broker. I'm not someone who is mediating, and I'm not someone who is even proposing a solution. All I'm doing is I'm reporting, you decide. With that, I'm going to sign off. But before I sign off, I would like to thank our key advertisers because without them, we cannot bring this program. As you know, it costs a lot of money as well with social media as well as with legacy media. So, Affordable Insurance of Texas, I would like to thank them. If you need any kind of auto insurance, commercial insurance, business insurance, homeowners insurance, health insurance, please call them 713-785-4000, 713-785-4000. You can also go online, aitinsurance.com. That's aitinsurance.com. I would also like to thank and mention a few things about Roop Sari. If you are looking for formal wear for brides, formal wear for grooms, and evening gowns or evening dresses, and even everyday dresses and attire, contact Roop Sari Palace. If you would like to ship, anything from East Coast to West Coast, then call this number 832-267-0065, 832-267-0065, or log on to roopsari.com, roopsari.com. And Prince Jewelers Houston, I would like to thank Prince Jewelers Houston. They have gold jewelry, heavy sets, light sets, different variety of sets, modern jewelry. You can even sell your old gold jewelry and buy new gold jewelry, and same gold prices, whatever the market rate would be, they'll give you on the rate where they will buy it from you if you're selling your old gold jewelry, and you can buy on the same rate the new gold jewelry. And they have 22 karat jewelry. They are at Hillcroft Shopping Plaza, 5901 Hillcroft Street, Suite C3, 281-777-1457 is the number, 281-777-1457, Prince Jewelers Houston. And they are there for you for decades. Now, I would also like to make a key announcement. A Pakistani or Indian chef is needed. That's right, for Dimasi's Mediterranean buffet. And they have a lot of locations, but this Pakistani or Indian chef is needed for a Sugarland location. If you know how to make excellent biryani, Hyderabadi biryani, korma, and other delicious Pakistani and Indian food items, call Mike at 832-605-0600. That's 832-605-0600. So again, I would especially say this as a key announcement for you that you can certainly call Mike, and I'm going to make sure that you can also see his number on the screen, and that way you can certainly call this number and make sure that if you are someone who is an experienced chef and know how to make these types of food, then you can certainly call Mike. And this is the number on the screen, as you can see at the bottom on the ticker. Mike, 832-605-0600, 832-605-0600. Why you have to call Mike? If you are a Pakistani or Indian chef and you know how to make biryani and some special items, then you can certainly call Mike and get in touch with him. Again, the number is on the screen, and you can call Mike, and his number is again 832-605-0600, 832-605-0600. So with that, I would like to sign off and continue with the legacy media. And I report, you decide. And if you would like to also become part of Zishan on Air as someone who would like to comment, go online, or you can comment during the program as well. And with that, I think the motion detector, the lights, with the environment, and sometimes to protect, conserve energy, you have to have that movement. So the light just got turned off. But anyway, I'll turn it on after I sign off. So you can connect with me. You can give your comments online, or you can also certainly advertise also with us. So you can promote your business, because it's a tough economy, but at the same time, we are here to promote businesses that are providing extraordinary and excellent goods and services to the community. With that, signing off. And again, thank you. And if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. With that, Zishan Isaacs signing off, and I'll connect with you next Sunday at 6 p.m. US Central Time on social media and also with the Legacy Media. Thank you. Bye-bye.